open up the doors to our Zoom room here on Daily with Doc. Folks, if you would like to join us live, go ahead and do so by going to dailywithdoczoom.com. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, I am excited to be able to bring to you information that is empowering not only in life in general, but empowering specifically in your health, your wellness. And for those of you who are looking for a passion and a purpose to help others, also in your financial profile for empowerment. So everybody, hello and welcome to Daily with Doc. So excited again to be here with you. Now, if you were invited by somebody specific, please make sure that you get back with them and ask them questions in regards to what you need to do in order to choose a better health journey. And if you are here live with us or even out on YouTube, Rumble, or Facebook, we do have parts of my team, people within my team, my amazing team, who are watching the chat, so that if you have questions, you can post them there and we will work on getting your questions asked here on our live show. If we do not get to your questions, then please go to dailywithdoc.com, which is the website and the group that is sponsoring this program. Again, that's dailywithdoc.com, and you will find the place where you can sign up for our email list and also submit questions. Now, this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products designed to diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases. But folks, we have one of the doctors, or the doctor, who has been instrumental in suing the FDA, that requires us to say that, 8 or 9 times, and prevailed, which means he won the lawsuits that he sued or went up against them for, in making sure that specific nutrients were, 1, added to baby food, 2, gave us the ability to say that this specific nutrient is essential for certain conditions. So I'm excited that we do have this young man here with us, because he has many decades of young years under his belt in a way that is understandable, that just makes sense, folks. He calls himself just a dumb farm boy from Missouri, but you can't call anybody dumb that's working their way through college in a pathology lab, finding the underlying causes of a mass die-off from ultimately pollution. And then as I look back at how I was 7 years ago, and then looking at that research that he did, it just made sense that I myself had been polluting my body with something that I thought, 1, was tasty, but 2, was supposed to be good for me, because I was on a keto diet. And a keto diet says you can eat this, 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 and this, and this. Well, folks, you've got to be very, very mindful of what you are putting in your body. And there's dirty keto and there's clean keto. And you want to go with clean keto. And another thing about a keto diet, folks, it has very little nutrition in it. So you better be supplementing. Well, today's program, we're going to be talking about some kids and what Dr. Wallach has been researching, because he's continually researching, has to do with some of those risk factors that are being found in kids that could lead to dementia. So without further ado, Dr. Wallach, hello and welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you and your team. It's so wonderful always to be with you. It's been a while since we've been doing this live. So thank you so much, Rebecca.
Well, I'm so glad, Dr. Wallach, that you were able to take a vacation, get some rest, and now be back with us. And man, you are always, always, always researching stuff. So tell us about what is on your mind and the research that you've been doing most recently.
Okay. Well, during this time, I've not been, doing these programs with you live. I've been doing a lot of research. Okay. And so probably about a half a dozen things are coming out here in the next couple of months to freak everybody out. But the one that I want to talk about today is dementia in the young people. Okay. And um, dementia in young people is related, of course, to 15 factors. 15 factors. And these were two studies. One was in, let's see here, England, and the other one was in the Netherlands. Okay. It was a 4-year study. They looked at 356,052 young people. Okay. And they found out what is causing dementia in young people. Okay. Number one is smoking. Okay. We can get more into that in the detail. I want to run through and get all these in here. Smoking was one. Low formal education was another issue. Let's see here. Low social standing of the family. Okay. Number four. Um, uh, let's see. Apoproteins. Okay. Were missing out of their diet. Let's see here. Abstinence from A1 cohorts. Okay. Number six was alcohol use disorder. And they said a small amount of alcohol was important. Well, that's not true. Okay. But what do people, when they're drinking beer, what do? They eat pecans and walnuts and stuff like that. So they're getting some nutrition out of the nuts. And that's what they're missing when they don't drink beer as a kid. They're just not eating nuts. Okay. So that was kind of an interesting finding. Okay. Social isolation, vitamin D deficiency. I thought that was interesting. That was the only nutrient they said was missing was vitamin D. High levels of, let's see here, high levels of, C-reactive proteins. That was number 9. Number 10, let's see here, reduced hand grip strength. Number 11, okay.
So,
Health.
Doctor, I know that's what those reports are showing, but
Mhm.
what do you, with all of your research knowledge, and something that they don't have is education in nutrition. What do
Okay.
you see as being risk factors
Okay,
and
the risk
causes?
factors. Okay. The risk factors are misdirection by the medical system. The medical system is making people go the wrong direction. They say no cholesterol. They give you cholesterol lowering drugs. They tell you cholesterol free diets. They have all kinds of stuff about no cholesterol, no cholesterol, no cholesterol. Well, when you are missing something upstairs and you're not social, you can't function properly in a group, which is humans are groupies. Okay. So when you can't function in a group, there's something missing here. Well, cholesterol deficiency is a problem. Cholesterol deficiency is a problem, just the opposite of what doctors say. Myelin is made of lipids and proteins, a fatty substance with a whitish appearance. The, let's see here, the lipid composition of myelin, okay, lipid composition of myelin is the sheath, is made up of high amounts of cholesterol. Myelin cannot be synthesized without cholesterol, and cholesterol availability goes to the liver, and liver converts the cholesterol to myelin. Okay, that's how that all happens. And so, so when people are drinking beer and they're having these walnuts and pecans and stuff like that, they're getting that. They eat They eat all kinds of soups and stuff like that with beans in it. Okay, chili with beans in it. They're getting these nutrients, these raw materials that the liver makes cholesterol from. That's the connection. Okay, myelin cannot be synthesized without cholesterol, and cholesterol availability is a critical. It's in big print. Critical prerequisite and a limiting factor of myelin membrane growth and production and maintenance. Okay, and so let's see here. Additional cholesterol effects. It aids in production of sex hormones. 95% of sex hormones are made from cholesterol. Okay, it's a building block for human tissues, including the brain and spinal cord and major nerves like myelin nerve and the big nerves. Okay, assists in bowel production of the liver. Okay, demyelinating disease is any condition that causes a damage of protective covering of myelin, and the brain and spinal cord, depending on the location, it's not the same for the whole brain and the length of the spinal cord, but it varies from 35% to 80% is myelin. Okay, and when myelin sheath is damaged, nerve impulses are slow or even stop, causing neurological problems, including social behavior problems. Demyelination associated diseases. We're looking at Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, which is kind of a new division of the Alzheimer's disease, Bell's palsy, cervical spondylosis, optic neuritis, Charcot-Marie tooth, Guillain-Barré syndrome. You've heard of all these things, right? The myelin oligodendrite glycoprotein antibody-associated diseases, transverse myelitis, disseminated encephalopathy, chronic inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathies. And I could go on because, there's about 100 of these problems that are cholesterol deficiencies. And doctors just want to give you cortisone, okay, and B vitamin injections and that kind of stuff. Vision loss, muscle weakness, muscle stiffness, loss of coordination, walking problems, change in sensations, changes in bladder and bowel function, nerve pain, overall fatigue, uncontrolled body. These are all deficiencies of myelin. Okay. And of course, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, atrophic lateral sclerosis, Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, which is kind of a new division of Alzheimer's disease. It just affects the front of the brain and the sides and the temples instead of the entire brain. Charcot-Marie tooth, Bell's palsy, cervical spondylosis, carpal tunnel syndrome, hereditary neuropathies, pressure palsies, myelopathies, optic neuropathies. Optic neuropathies are very common because when you have osteoporosis of the skull, which usually also goes along with this, there's two different problems, but they go along together sometimes. You have osteoporosis, you get a squeezing, okay, of the 12 pairs of cranial nerve in the spinal cord. And that's why we came out. We had one guy today buy 100 of these, okay? It's all in your head. And there's a CD that goes along with it. Now the CD, there you go, covers primarily the spinal cord. And the book, It's All in Your Head, covers the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. These are indispensable tools, okay, to help your family deal with things so you don't have to deal with the problems. You can prevent these problems. They're not genetic, and medical doctors will tell you that these things tend to run in the family, so they believe it's genetic. Well, it runs in the families because everybody's eating the same way. It's just that simple, okay? So, what I want everybody to do is kind of get these tools, and that includes Dr. Wallach's 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity and the world as a flip chart. And in here, we've got about a dozen famous people who came to us with terrible, terrible diseases that the doctors couldn't fix. They were just giving them cortisone and stuff like that. And we have their pictures, we have their stories. Many of them have pictures of they and I together because we actually saved them. We saved them with Dr. Wallach's 90 for Life Crusade to save humanity and the world. And so they allowed us to use their images, Pat Boone, Danny Glover, Jesse Medelis, Creflo Dollar, Dr. Michael Freeman. That's a big story there. Theo Ratliff, Mike Glenn, Martin Luther King III, Andy Young, Kelly Herron, Becca Dukes. Okay, a director of Student Services, Institute of Holistic Health. So we really appreciate all this information that people are dealing with. We can eliminate these diseases. Like I always say, give me 90 days. Usually within 2 to 6 weeks, you see significant improvement. That's the story with Pastor Mike Freeman. That's one of my favorites. Okay. He was in a coma in a hospital up in Maryland, and the doctors were just giving him cortisone and stuff like that. And he was slowly getting worse. And he got to the point where the doctors called the family and said, look, we pulled the IVs on him. He only has either hours or days to live. Better come say your goodbyes. If you're going to see him, he's still unconscious, but you'll at least have the pleasure of knowing you said goodbye to him while he's still alive. Okay. And so, let's see here, Linda Tyler, one of his church members, one of our great distributors up there from Maryland, calls me and says, hey, is there anything we can do for him? And she reminds me of the story. I said, well, yeah, let's just get the plant minerals. She said, well, I've got 3 bottles of it in my car right now. I said, go get them. I want you to rub half a teacup on his chest, his upper belly, lower belly, and his upper back between his shoulder blades, and his lower back and lower back 3 times a day. Okay, do that faithfully. She said she would do it. Well, she calls me the next day and says, guess what? Pastor Mike, who's been in a coma for 3.5 months, got up, shaved, and he's ready to go. Just by he absorbed the minerals. He was missing those minerals because they were giving him stuff through his IVs and this and the other that had gluten in it. And he couldn't absorb any nutrition from any direction. Okay. And so that was a great story. We have a CD that tells the story. Okay. And it blows your mind. Okay. And we have the books. Let's see, the Wallach Revolution. We have epigenetics. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. There are no genetically transmitted diseases. There you go, epigenetics. And I'm considered one of the founding fathers of it because we had all these diseases that were supposed to be genetic, and all these famous people that were registered, and all the genetics people were running around telling about how these people have these gene problems. And we reversed them with just our supplement program, the 90 essential nutrients plus the secret sauces for those particular diseases. And so we have, the cost is staggering. Okay, the cost is staggering of what we spend to deal with these diseases. Alzheimer's disease, each year in America alone, just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it, just to treat the symptoms, $345 billion a year. Arthritis, just to treat the symptoms, not to prevent or cure it, in America alone, each year, $626.8 billion. Diabetes, not to prevent it or cure it, but just to treat the symptoms, $342 billion. Heart disease, not to prevent it or cure it, but just to treat the symptoms, $316.8 billion. Obesity, $260 billion. It goes on and on and on. And so then my next favorite one out of all that, it goes to osteoporosis. And it comes down to, let me get the right piece of paper here. It comes down to, I think it's like $10 trillion. Oh, $6.5 trillion. 6.5 trillion with a T dollars each year spent between 3 communities, the United States, Canada, and EU, just to treat the symptoms of osteoporosis, because most people think osteoporosis is a disease of aging. No, it's a very simple nutritional deficiency disease. And if you take your 90 essential nutrients and stay away from all the bad foods, you will get rid of osteoporosis. I don't care if you've had it for 25 years, it still goes away. Give me 90 days. That's why we say, 90 for life crusade. You give me 90 days. In almost all instances, we can reverse these issues. Okay. We can reverse these issues. And so we had, a guy today, 100 copies of the book, Dead Doctor.
It's all in your head.
Oh,
It's all in your head that he did the 100 copies of?
no, well, actually, we sell 100 copies a lot of times. This one today was Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It was actually the videos of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. He bought 100 copies of that. Okay. Because he is saying, I'm tired of seeing all this stuff let's get rid of it. And so he's ready to go to work. We have the tools. We have 23 really critical first level information books. The information was never published in this fashion before. 23. Rebecca are working on a couple more here real quick.
24, Doc. The flip chart makes 24.
Oh, that's right. Flip chart makes 24. Thank you. Okay. So this is one of those things where just osteoporosis of the skull, loss of the sense of smell. Optic nerve neuropathy is number 2. Loss of smell is number 1. Ptosis, pupil can't respond to light. Cranial nerve number 3. Double vision, palsy. Okay. Cranial nerve number 4. Cranial nerve number 5. Trigeminal neuralgia, very painful. Cranial nerve number 6 being squeezed by osteoporosis of the skull. Double vision, strabismus, Bell's palsy. The 7th cranial nerve, your face droops, tinnitus, ringing in the ear, deafness, vertigo, Meniere's disease, 8th cranial nerve being squeezed, loss of the gag reflex and taste, cranial nerve number 9, cranial nerve number 10, gastroparesis, COPD, and hiccups. Okay, cranial nerve number 11, loss of trapezius and other nerves and muscles, kind of from the mid chest up. Okay, and then atrophy of the tongue and speech, cranial nerve number 12. And it's one of those things where spinal cord problems, okay, Erb's palsy, it's one of those things. Well, it's also known as Wallach's fibrosis. And so don't forget the book and the CD, okay, it's all in your head. Oh my gosh. You'll be amazed at how many diseases you can get rid of in weeks and months.
Well, Dr. Wallach, we talked about dementia. We talked about all of the symptoms that are associated with cholesterol deficiencies already today on the program. We've also spoken of osteoporosis of the skull. Folks, if you've got osteoporosis or arthritis in one part of your body, think about it. How can it just be affecting that one part? It's all over. All the cells of the body are connected. What we put into our mouth nourishes all the cells or creates deficiencies because we're not putting that nourishment in of the whole entire body, not just one little section. It just happens that that one little section is where you're feeling it first or most. So we encourage you to give Dr. Wallach's philosophy and his approach to creating better health and wellness, minimum of 90 days. And then you want to do the 90 essential nutrients for the rest of your life, because it's like putting gas in a car. If you don't put gas in your car and you continue to run it, it's going to stop on you. It's going to start breaking down. Don't put the oil in, you don't put the transmission fluid in, you don't put the antifreeze in, the windshield wiper fluids, that's just one of the minor things. Well, it comes down to the body has major and minor things going on that if we don't nourish it, all those little things create big problems, folks. And that's what this program is all about, is to help you not have to go to those big problem issues because of simple nutritional deficiencies. Yes, simple nutritional deficiencies. So Dr. Wallach has put together all of his research, and I was going to bring out my big book, and I forgot to have it handy, Dr. Wallach, which was your first publication, or was that your second publication, The Diseases of Exotic Animals, that is a national treasure in the Smithsonian Institute?
Yeah, Disease of Exotic Animals. That was I think my first book. Okay, it was 10 years of autopsies, and over 20,000 autopsies just in that one study, and 10 years, and it was published, and it's shocked everybody. Okay, that the Smithsonian Institute put it in as a national treasure into their library. Oh my gosh, I was so proud of that, because how many people have we saved? How many people have we educated? I'm so proud of that book. And of course, it's one of the first books that's talked about in the slip chart that shows you a picture of the cover. It tells you about the book and how it got put together and everything like that. So yeah, it's in the first part of the flip chart.
Yep.
Um,
I know it's there, Doc. I put it there. Folks, you can go to drjwallach.com. You will find all of Dr. Wallach's publications, and not only just books, but also CDs, DVDs, and more information about him. And Dr. Wallach, we have hands that are up. We have questions that are up. The first one that I want to address is Rohiwa in South Africa is asking which book contains the food list per condition. And so I know Dead Doctors Don't Lie speaks of that. Let's Play Doctor speaks of that.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What health problem does she have?
So the book, she's wanting to know which book lists foods, or it would actually be nutrition that's causing the deficiency, or what you would add to the diet if you have these different symptoms. So
Okay.
what would be your first book that you would recommend?
Well, there's three of them. Okay. One is, of course, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Another one is Epigenetics. And then the Wallach Revolution. And then the number 4 would be the flip chart. Now, this book, The Diseases of Exotic Animals, is in the Smithsonian Institute. It's on page 7 of the flip chart. It's the first book listed, Diseases of Exotic Animals. Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right.
It only has a small paragraph. Let me read this. It says, Dr. Wallach's thesis is considered a national treasure, and the original is held in the Smithsonian Institute, Washington, D.C. It's Dr. Wallach's wish that this book provide a widespread understanding of the anatomy, physiology, diagnosis, and treatment of the rainbow of species with which we share this planet then and now. And of course, this is one of those things where the title of the book is Diseases of Exotic Animals, Medical and Surgical Management. And it just blows everybody's mind when they read this. What? You mean giraffe have liver cirrhosis? You mean tortoises have lung disease? People don't think about that. Okay. And so this was really a scientific breakthrough of magnitude proportions. Okay. So I'm very, very proud of that. Page 7 of the flip chart.
And one more, folks. Dolphins have congestive heart failure. What do you remember about that story, Doc? With the congestive heart failure, which then created a product called de-stress.
Yeah,
which
well,
is
the dolphins, they had the shows at the various zoos and aquariums and things like that, and they were dying, because they were getting fish, okay, that actually had enzymes in the fish's tissues that killed the vitamins that they were missing. And they wound up with congestive heart failure, and that's why we came out with our wonderful product, the de-stress. Okay, the de-stress product is actually designed to prevent and reverse congestive heart failure. That was designed for the dolphins.
And that's added to a solid foundation of the 90 essential nutrients.
That is correct. That particular nutrient is in the 90. And of course, we have the bottles. Well, I take 3 of those twice a day. And, I'm 84 going on 85 here. And I don't have any heart issues. Never had any heart issues. Okay, and I played all kinds of sports. I was in the military, and so it's one of those things where if I could have had a heart issue, I'd have got a heart issue. But I was taking all these nutrients that I had fallen in love with, and all these nutrients. It just made sense. If we were giving them, that's why I found the cause, prevention, cure for muscular dystrophy. Okay, we had muscular dystrophy in animals, and we gave them these nutrients. And so I just started giving it to kids, Jerry's kids, and we started curing these kids with muscular dystrophy. They had it for 10 years, 20 years, and in a month it would go away.
Wow. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have some testimonials here out on YouTube as well. So Joe is saying, my vision is getting back to normal. Thanks, Doc. thought I may have needed laser eye surgery to correct it and can't afford that. So that is wonderful, Joe. So excited to hear that as well. And there's many, many more. So Dr. Wallach, let's get to some of the questions that are coming up. And the first one is Josie. Josie is writing a question in regards to her mother, who is on a blood thinner and would like to know what they can do. So blood thinner, dirty blood. What what would be the cause of dirty blood and what can we do? And if Josie's, I don't have weight or age, but if she's on a blood thinner, say she's 90 years old and 100 pounds.
Okay.
It's not too late, is it?
No, of course not. She lived to be 120 or more. Okay. And so it's one of those things where we've got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet one's got to go. And then she weighs 90 pounds or 100 pounds, whatever it is. She can have about one healthy brain and heart pack, a half a dose of everything twice a day. And then let's see her big question was what was this thing that was popping up on her now?
So she's on a blood thinner.
Okay, because they're afraid of blood clots. So
Possibly.
okay, so what we want her to have is the Ultra Daily Classic tablets. Okay, she go ahead and she can take 2 of those twice a day. So 1 bottle a month will last her. That's in addition to 1 healthy brain and heart pack, a half a dose of everything twice a day. Okay, and then I would give her the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Give her 2 of those twice a day, or 3 times a day, and it will rebuild the heart and support the kidney function, blood pressure, blood flow through blocked arteries. It's really a great product. I take 3 of those twice a day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And let's go over to, I have one more question here. And this is something that Dr. Wallach, just in the last 2 years, you have added buckwheat to the bad foods list. So let's address that. I know that at one time, because buckwheat is considered gluten-free, it was on that good foods list, not on the bad foods list. But you discovered that it has a chemical that is a phototoxin that is adding it to the bad foods list, and that being phagopyrene. So buckwheat, Dr. Wallach.
Yeah, you got it exactly right. Phagopyrines in the buckwheat actually prevents you from absorbing and utilizing nutrients. So it's just as bad. I think it's worse than gluten because most people have heard that gluten is bad for you. But everybody think, well, buckwheat pancakes, buckwheat this, buckwheat that. And so I know our family, we would eat buckwheat pancakes, on Sunday after church kind of thing. But that was only once a week. We didn't eat it once a day or twice a day. We didn't have any buckwheat bread or anything like that, but we did have the pancakes once a week. And it's a miracle we all didn't die.
And that chemical, it damages the villi. Is that what the problem is?
Yes.
All right. And folks, for you, those of you who don't know what the villi is that's like fingers. It looks like fingers inside the intestines, like a shag rug. And when you have that damaged, then you don't have all of that surface to absorb the nutrients as they're going through the digestive system.
Then your
You
intestines
damage
look like a
that.
plastic tube. Then your intestines look like a plastic tube. You lose 90% of the surface area.
And that's what gluten does as well. And I promised Dr. Wallach that I would have a picture to show, but I don't have it. I'm sorry, Doc. I failed you on that one.
Oh,
But we'll have it again soon. So confused. I hope that helps to bring a little light on that at one time, yes, it was on the good foods list. So that what you saw has been or is outdated. Next, let's go to Marilyn, who has her hand up patiently. And let me find you, Marilyn. Where did you go? Marilyn, if you can add yourself to the screen since you are a co-host, that would be fantastic. There you are.
There. Okay.
All right. Marilyn, what questions do you have for us today?
Okay, we have the product Herbal Rainforest, and it always talks about detoxification. Does that mean it's just removing heavy metals? What's all involved in the detoxification?
Okay, it'll remove healthy metals. It will excuse me, unhealthy metals. It'll reduce the various herbs that are bad. It'll reduce overdoses of like antibiotics. I like Herbal Rainforest when somebody has an overdose of anything because it will get rid of the overdose.
And how often should we be taking it?
If you have a problem, I would start out at 2 or 3 times a day, depending on your body weight. If you don't have a problem, you could take it, maybe twice a week or something like that. You don't have to go crazy on it if you don't have a problem.
So
But
it's
then,
not like we should take it like every 3 months, or we can take it that often? Like
here's what you want to do. Of course, you're going to be taking a blood test, say once every month or a couple of months. You also want to get a hair analysis once every couple of months, or 3 months at least, a hair analysis. And that will give you a recorded, scientifically collected information as to whether or not you need this stuff. Okay, there's no sense to run up a bill of $700 because you're buying 20 different products because somebody says take this, another person says take that, another one says take this, and you're taking $700 worth of products, and you only probably need the 90 essential nutrients. And so this is why I like the Herbal Rainforest, because it's a detoxifier of anything that's sort of high. And so it's what it's designed to do. It has, I think, 12 different herbs in it. Okay.
Yes, I know
17.
botanicals too. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that.
Is that your only question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Marilyn. And let's go to the next hand that is up, Dr. Wallach. And Rosemary, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good day, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I need to ask about one of my clients. She had breast implants that leaked, and then she had them removed, and they told her to go to get a mammogram, and she did. And the mammogram told her that the leaked part of her implants were attached to her lymph nodes under her arm. And she came to me as a lymph therapist to do a lymph on her, and I told her I couldn't do that until I checked it out to make sure I wouldn't do her harm.
Well, she'd be a
Any
perfect
advice?
one. She'd be a perfect one for the, don't forget the 90 essential nutrients and the Herbal Rainforest. That would be a perfect one for her.
I've tried to talk to her, but she thinks she knows more than I do.
Okay, well, we do our best, and even God doesn't have everybody listen to him, so I don't feel bad about that.
But would I do her any harm if I did a lymph therapy on her?
Yes.
I'm sorry, if you did what?
Would I do her any harm if I did a lymph on her? I'm concerned about moving that material around.
Well, you don't want to be moving that material around. You want to get it out of there. You want it to go one direction, as to go to the kidneys, and so they can pee them out.
So Dr. Wallach, it sounds like Rosemary is does a lot of massage, where you can do massage up the lymph to help clear the stuff that's plugged in the lymph. Clearing that out is what we're ultimately trying to do, right?
Is correct.
It didn't say it was in the lymph, it was on the on the lymph nodes under her arm.
So it's on the surface of the lymph nodes.
Right.
Yeah, I'd go, with the 90 essential nutrients, get rid of the bad food, and then do the
Rainforest.
Yeah, the rainforest, herbal rainforest, and that's the sort of thing it was built for.
Okay, I will tell her that. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you, Rosemary. And folks, the body can do some amazing things when it comes to all the cells of the body, but it has to have those raw ingredients in order to rebuild the way it was designed to. So whether it's clearing stuff up, whether it's building muscle, whether it's clearing the toxins out, it still needs those 90 essential nutrients to be able to do it efficiently and more thoroughly. So TC, go ahead and unmute yourself. What question do you have for Dr. Wallach today?
I talked to you back in September. You gave me a regimen to do for my hernia. I don't know if you remember.
I
But
apologize. I've talked to 1,000 people since then.
yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, I started doing it, but I was trying to take it slow with small doses. One thing is I noticed when I took for my third meal with the MSM and the Ultimate Daily Classic tablet, I was getting some side effects. So I stopped taking it, and then I was having some withdrawal symptoms for about 9 days. And then I went to see my doctor to see if it would be okay for me to take them. He said, I showed him all the supplements. He said, "Oh, they're okay to take. There's no problem. Won't do you any harm. Won't hurt you to take them." He didn't think, though, I should take the fish oil because I'm thin, and he said I could cause bleeding. But anyways, long story short, I'll tell you, I started the regimen actually at the beginning of November. I wanted to call you, but you hadn't been on for a while to let you know what I was doing. But I've been taking the collagen, the hair, skin, and nail support. I take that for the third meal, but that's the only thing I take for the third meal. And for the first couple of months, I was taking the MSM. I was taking 3 capsules twice a day. The hair, skin, and nail support, 2 capsules twice a day. But for the last couple of weeks, I upped it to 4 MSMs twice a day and 3 hair, skin, and nail twice a day. So I'm taking the full amount of collagen and the MSM and the hair, skin, and nail. The Ultimate Daily Classic tablet, you mentioned that I could cut it in half. So I take either a half a tablet twice a day, or I actually take like one whole one and then a half of one.
Well, wait a minute. How much do you weigh?
Well, I was 150, and I actually lost some weight with this. Was down to 142, about 144.
Yeah, I would go with 2 of those Ultimate Daily Classic tablets twice a day, not a half of one twice a day.
Okay. Well, when I was doing this, I was doing a whole tablet. I did that for a whole week for each meal, or a couple meals anyways. And when I was working out and I was doing bicep curls, I was getting a pain in my left elbow crease, where they draw blood from there. But I hadn't had blood drawn there for 2 years, but I was getting some pain in that.
Okay, stop there for a minute. Stop there for a minute. You're taking any glucogel or collagen peptides or anything like that to rebuild cartilage and ligaments and tendons and connective tissue?
I do take the collagen peptides. Yeah, I take a full scoop of that. I take the regular one, full scoop of that twice a day. And then I take the hair, skin, and nail support, a full scoop of that for my third meal.
Okay.
So I'm getting 3 of those a day.
Okay. Just remember, you got to stay away from the bad foods. That's just as important as taking the supplements, because the bad foods block a lot of the effectiveness of the good foods and the supplements. And so it's important that everybody in the household is also free of all the bad stuff, so you're not getting cross-contaminated in the laundry and the couch and the bed and the rugs and chairs and so forth. Okay.
Okay. Well, my question, though, I guess at this point is that I also was taking you said to take 2 brain and heart packs, but because of my weight, I was taking 1.5. But with the EFAs, I wasn't really taking those because my doctor said about the fish oil. But I do eat fish, and I eat nuts and seeds, and I figured that I was probably getting enough EFAs
Okay,
for
well,
only
stop.
a person of 80-pound body weight.
Stop.
Okay.
Do you put oil in your car, or do you put dirt from Texas in your car? Come on, there's bound to be some oil in that dirt from Texas.
no,
Why don't you just put dirt from Texas in there instead of a can of oil?
Okay.
You got to do the same thing for yourself. You want to get those nutrients that are necessary when you have a pathology. You need to ramp up on those nutrients. Okay, and what can I say? You need to be a little more heavy-handed to deal with these things.
So Dr. Wallach, one of the things that he mentioned is his doctor told him not to take EFAs. Is that a wise choice?
It's not a wise choice, because EFAs prevent things like strokes, blood clots, helps you with all every cell wall in the body requires that.
Okay,
Okay.
but would you concur or differ that some people should not take fish oil because of it could cause bleeding? Because I'll tell you, what I did a couple weeks ago. I did buy the EFAs, and then I started taking them, and then I started noticing that I could feel the dilation take place, and I was getting in my right arm. I noticed I was getting some. I could see the veins under the arm, and I was getting a couple of blood blisters.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't take that full amount of those EFAs.
Well, just cut it in half for a while.
Okay. I
The,
can take
the EFAs are essential for the cell walls of every cell in your body.
okay.
It's also necessary for hormones. It's
Okay.
also necessary for skin health. And so to eliminate EFAs because some doctor has some sort of strange dissatisfaction with it is like saying, no oxygen, you can rust. Don't take any oxygen, you can rust. Okay. That would be very stupid.
Okay, now I also noticed with the selenium, I misread the label. I thought it said take 1 a day. They actually say to take 3 a day.
That's correct. I
I
take 3
completely-
twice a day. I only weigh 142 pounds.
Okay, so I was only taking like 1 or 2 a day.
You're way under dosing.
Okay. And I
Give us
also,
a call in a couple of weeks. We got a bunch of other callers here we got to run.
And unfortunately, Dr. Wallach has to get going as well. But TC,
okay,
as
I
far
also wanted to
as
ask you about
what's
those
labeled,
meal.
as far as what's on the label, we apologize. The FDA tells us what we can and can't put on there and what's the max that we can put on there. And there's a lot of people that have been killed because of the FDA and their recommendations. So we definitely, Dr. Wallach has done a lot of research into this, and we've helped a lot of people with his recommendations. Dr. Wallach, we have time for one more question. And Rofiwa, go ahead and unmute yourself.
All right, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to be quick for the sake of time. Dr. Wallach, you have assisted my daughter, I think it was in September. So she was diagnosed with a type 1 diabetes, which she then converted into type 2. So, but now we've been following like a diet for her. And then it's been 5 days now without us giving her insulin. So we are currently not administering any insulin. It's been 5 days now.
Okay,
So, but
stop for a minute. Okay. Rebecca, did you understand any of that?
Yes, I did. She's giving a testimony. Her daughter started the program back in September. She had been diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic, and then it was downgraded to a type 2 diabetic. And now she's been 5 days without requiring any insulin, Dr. Wallach.
Oh,
But she has a question that she'd like to pose to you now as well.
okay.
So that's fantastic.
That's
Go
very
ahead.
good.
yeah, so like my question is, since we are not administering any insulin, we've noted that especially in the mornings when she wakes up, her blood sugar is usually low, like it ranges between 3.7 and 3.3, and it only happens in the morning. And then she also complains about the tummy cramps in the morning. And then just to add another question on that so that you can just answer everything at once. So I just wanted to find out, with your experience, how long does it take for the pancreas to be like fully restored?
Okay, what was her
So
question?
how long does it take for the pancreas to be fully restored? Because right now her blood sugar in the morning is low. In Africa, they use a different metrics or a different measurement system than we do in the US. But her blood sugar is low, and she's having tummy cramps in the area of the pancreas. So she wants to know about.
Okay, well, she's got to do the 90 essential nutrients. She's got to do the 90. She can't just take one nutrient. She's got to take 90 essential nutrients, okay? The Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. And then she needs the, again, I would go with the Sweeties, and I would start out with 1 Sweeties a day. And, you know, when she wakes up in the morning with breakfast, and see how the blood sugar goes. And the we see people who were told they were type 1 diabetics, and we were able to reverse it because it really was a type 2 diabetic. Type 1 diabetics is a birth defect, not genetic, but the mother was missing stuff when the pancreas was forming and they didn't make enough cells to make insulin. So it's a birth defect based on a nutritional deficiency early in pregnancy. Okay, that's type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is always a nutritional deficiency. You're eating gluten and you can't absorb the nutrients, or you're missing the nutrients that are necessary for the pancreas to utilize the nutrients properly. People say, well, which nutrient is it? Which nutrient? Well, no, you got to use them all. If I just say use one, you'll use that one and you'll be 89 short.
So in this case, Dr. Wallach, she is using the 90 essential nutrients. She is also taking the sweeties, but what can she do to help prevent those tummy cramps that she's experiencing in the morning?
Okay, she has tummy cramps. I'd go with the ultimate enzymes. Take a couple of those, say 10 minutes before breakfast, 10 minutes for lunch, 10 minutes for dinner time. I'd also have her take more calcium. Okay. And it wouldn't hurt for her to take, okay, our collagen peptides. Okay. Our collagen peptides. Okay, our pollen burst. Okay, it's called pollen burst.
So the liver formula, you're thinking of the pollen burst liver formula.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, pollen burst. It's a little bitty pills about a 1/4 inch in diameter. They're flat disc, okay, and they have, let's see here, they have this wonderful stuff, okay, called glutathione, okay, great stuff for supporting all kinds of things that the body does to make, and wouldn't hurt also in addition to that, gosh. Oh, I would throw in the I-26 so that all the myelin in the brain and the spinal cord can work.
Which it also is very beneficial for the digestive system, everybody. And Dr. Wallach, I have to kick you out so I don't get fired. But thank you so much for being here with us. And we will see you again tomorrow, folks. Thursday, January 11th, Dr. Wallach will be on with us again. And for those of you who are watching TV, yeah, the date doesn't matter because this information is relevant all your year long, 24/7, 7 days a week. And that's just a little plug for being able to find us in the very near future, hopefully by the end of this week, on Apple TV, Roku TV, and also Fire TV. Just look for Daily with Doc. So folks, I just want to thank you so much for being here with us. I know there were some questions that we did not get to. Go to our website, dailywithdoc.com, submit your questions there, and we will get answers to you. And also, to help promote the show, and we want to thank you all for being here and watching, help others find it as well. And to thank you for doing that, we do have a giveaway that is going on. Go to dwdgiveaway.com and share our information on the different social media platforms that you participate in. So that's dwdgiveaway.com. And if I could get my co-hosts up on the screen with me, I would greatly appreciate being able to give them a huge shout out, as we have Sherry here with us who is helping us get the show broadcasted out onto those platforms. And we have Phyllis, who is out there on those platforms, bringing in the questions and fielding questions for us, and also putting information in the chat. We have Albert, who is letting people into the Zoom room, keeping an eye on the chat and the cameras, and making sure that everybody's able to have a safe place to be in order to get this information. If you're here live with us, we have Marilyn, who does amazing dictation and repeating what Dr. Wallach says, the questions, and rephrasing them, which I saw Phyllis was doing that as well. So thank you, Marilyn, for doing that. And we have AJ, who is kind of my technical advisor and helping us get up all of these platforms rolling, and especially the TV, which we are very, very excited about. So thank you, all of you and all of the coaches who join us. There are many of them that are not on the screen who are here with us, whether you're in the Zoom room, and I saw some of them here with us today, and also out on YouTube and Rumble. Share this information with your folks. And if somebody shared this information with you, make sure that you get back with them and ask them how you also can choose this better health journey. My name is Becca Dukes. AJ, what am I forgetting? Oh, something that I need? Okay, more sleep, folks. And I love the fact that we have a sleep bundle that offers this information. Stop making faces, AJ. That offers these products to you to help you find better sleep as well, and to make it easy for you, because I'm doing this too. Go to sleepwithbecca.com and it will take you right to the page that offers the sleep bundle. So again, that's sleepwithbecca.com, and let's together get better sleep. So until next time, bye for now.